What's up, guys? This is Franchise Tagged. I'm Brendan. I have Aaron and Ray here, and we just saw week one get underway. So, as always, we're going to break down each game for you guys and let you know, and let us know in the comments what you guys think of each game. So, guys, you guys ready?
I'm more pumped
Let's
than
give a like,
ever.
comment, and subscribe, and let Brendan know what you think of that intro. Ray has been giving him so much crap to try to get him to bring one in to the episode, but yes, I'm ready. Today, guys, we're going to cover the news and notes inside of the games since games happened, and we're recapping the games anyways. Morning slate, first game on the docket. Ravens, Texans. Big news coming out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, RIP to J.K. Dobbins. I think that's probably the last time we're going to see him with the Ravens. Probably last time we see him on the field for a while.
So the news behind that is that he tore his Achilles.
Yes.
They've already confirmed that.
Yeah. So
welcome to the club, J.K. Dobbins. Welcome to the illustrious club of tearing your Achilles.
Confirmed that for sure.
But this game was just very. It was boring. Like I know the Ravens won. Was it 26-9, right?
Ravens won 25-9.
25-9. My apologies. And I mean, the only person that really shined, in my opinion, was Zay Flowers. He looked electric and was fun to watch play. But anytime they got to the goal line, Lamar did not throw it, and they just ran it into the end zone.
Yeah. Yep. Will definitely. Yeah. For sure.
Now I will say that I like what we saw from Zay Flowers. I thought that was really enlightening to see. You get to see who the real receiver one is in that group. I think Rashad Bateman is a 2. Odell is for sure the 3.
Yeah, and Devin Duvernay is not even a thing, so don't even worry about him.
And then like you also have like the fact that Mark Andrews isn't playing today, so that's probably making this all kind of convoluted because he will be back eventually this season, probably very soon. So
yeah, I'm curious what happens.
It'll still be him and Zay Flowers though.
Yeah, I'm curious to see like how much he eats into it, if he improves things with everything else like that. And since J.K. tore his Achilles, they did say that Melvin Gordon's get called up, so he will replace it. But I think going forward, it'll be Gus and Melvin splitting the backfield.
I think it'll be Gus and Justice Hill, especially what you saw today when he got the opportunity. He went to work.
Yes, he did.
They like this.
They do. I would like to go ahead.
Texans side of the ball. Yeah, I was sorry to interrupt you, but Texans side of the ball. I mean, Peter Stroud didn't look too bad. I mean, his O-line did not help him at all today, though. He was just getting smothered. He was like, I think he was like 24 for 48 for like 270 yards, but he just no touchdowns. I don't know who's his number one. It could be Nico, it could be Robert Woods, but they both put up decent numbers today. So
yep. I would like to throw out the honorable mention for probably your last round pick, Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Going 6 for 80.
Yeah. But
and I thought
Pierce was not good though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that one, CJ Stroud looked fine with as much pressure as he was under. That's considering that. I don't think that you could have asked him to do much else of anything when he has at the minimum 2 people staring him in the face every time he touched the ball. But Dameon Pierce, big letdown, huge letdown.
Yes, that I would agree. I think that's pretty much it for this game as far as fantasy pieces go. Isaiah Likely, if you put him in for Mark Andrews, didn't help you out at all either. But rolling on to the next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Minnesota Vikings. This game finished Tampa Bay 20, Minnesota 17. Minnesota couldn't pull out their less than 7-point win this week, so they're 0-1, which everyone thought that they would regress in that category anyways. But let's start with Tampa. I'd like to talk about Baker Mayfield. Didn't look great in the beginning, but finished with an okay fantasy day, and he helped a couple fantasy assets in the receiving game. Mike Evans, big game, 6 for 66 and a touchdown. It seems like he's probably going to score most weeks, and Chris Godwin went 5 for 6 in receptions for 51 yards. Full point, that's a little bit better than half point, but he was still serviceable.
Yeah. Rashad White was a letdown. I think everyone was expecting a little more of the passing game. He really didn't do a whole lot, so I'd be monitoring that situation a little more, see what they do out of that backfield. But Baker didn't play bad. He wasn't bad at all. I mean, Justin Jefferson did his usual thing, over 100 yards. You're super ecstatic having him, obviously. Jordan Addison, though, was really spectacular, too. 6 catches, 60 yards, touchdown. I would be curious more about Alexander Madison going forward. Without that touchdown, he was very, very mid today.
I thought that he looked like he's always looked for the entirety of his career. I'm sorry. Alexander Madison has never surprised me or wowed me or done anything to make me think that he was like, an upper echelon running back in the NFL. He looked exactly how he's looked for the last, 3 years, 4 years? Yeah. I think that's what you're going to get out of him this whole season, which I think that probably means he's going to finish as an RB2.
Maybe. I would like to bring up Jordan Addison. He finished really well. TJ Hawkinson finished as tight end 3 on the week as of today without the Monday games playing. So he finished pretty well. I'm behind the 8 ball in that bet, Ray. Look at you go.
8 receptions for 35 yards though for TJ. It's not
going to get it done.
No.
It's
okay.
Not going to get it done.
It's going to be okay.
I think that pretty much wraps up this game right here. So with that being said, the next one is the Bengals Browns. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. 24-3, Browns win it. Bengals looked awful. I mean, if you want to say Joe Mixon was their only bright spot, he really was. He's the highest fantasy scorer on the team with 56 yards. Hold on, what is this? 73 yards total offense.
Yeah, he had 3 receptions for 17 yards. Now, Bengals, I don't know what it is. They always look flat week 1. Like Joe Burrow always looks flat week 1.
Yeah, it was not good. Deshaun Watson, 16 for 29, 154. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 carries, 45 yards, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. He kind of salvaged his day where it was raining, but he didn't look very good starting out. Nick Chubb obviously doing Nick Chubb things. The receivers for both teams didn't really do it. I mean,
Elijah Moore leads the category with 3 receptions, 43 yards. So
yeah, I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah, and I want to just jump in there and say I would think that you should panic on anybody that's on the Bengals side of the ball. This is just a bad game for Joe Burrow, and that means it's going to be a bad game for Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Probably even means that Joe Mixon was hurt by that poor performance because, I mean, you look at his stats right there. It was 13 attempts for 56 yards, nothing really special. 4 1/4 a clip carry. I don't think I'm holding any weight to this poor game. Just hold.
No, I think you kind of hit on the head there, Ray. Like T. Higgins, 0 receptions, 0 yards for 8 targets is horrendous. Like, it's a dud. Can't do anything about it. Just move forward. It's week 1. You can overreact. You can do what you want, but you just hold strong.
Yep. And then next up on the docket, boys, is Jacksonville at Indy. Jacksonville wins 31-21. Trevor Lawrence looked decent. All teams this week were a little shaky in the first half. Came out, looked pretty good. Finished 24 for 32, 241, 2 touchdowns, interception, 7 carries for 21 yards. Travis Etienne himself looked really good. 18 carries, 77 yards, 1 touchdown with 5 receptions for 27 extra yards. Tank Bigsby did get into the end zone. So 7 carries, 13 yards, 1 touchdown. He also lost a weird fumble too, where the play wasn't blown dead, and then he got jacked for a scoop and score.
Wait till the whistle.
Tank hurt me really bad this week. I just want you guys to know. Really hurt real bad.
Let's clear our throats for this one. For everyone who's talking about this man hasn't played football in 636 days or whatever it was, Calvin Ridley came out and did his thing. 8 receptions, 101 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, to be fair, second half he only had one reception for 11 yards, but still, he came out 792 and a tutter in the first half. Yeah. He's it. Zay Jones clearly still going to be the pest in every Christian Kirk owner's side this year. So we saw last year
reliable too. 5 receptions, 49 yards. Yeah, Christian Kirk had 1 reception for 9 yards. It was in the first half, and then was never seen again. Literally had 3 targets in this game. So I think, for all those that drafted Christian Kirk thinking that, maybe it's going to be like a split even thing, Calvin Ridley was definitely getting all the targets in this game.
Yes, he was. And then, as Brennan alluded to, Evan Ingram, 5 for 49. He'll probably finish, tight end 11 this week with that stat. If you fell into the end zone, you'd be even more happy with him, but that's just kind of where it is.
Yeah, and I think that, with the negative players in this game, let's say Christian Kirk and Tank Bigsby, but both holds. Timeout.
Full point PPR, Evan Ingram with 5 for 49 is sitting at tight end 5 on the week.
That says a
So
lot.
that tells you something.
The tight ends suck. Yes,
Yeah.
we knew that. Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So then we'll jump over to Indy side of the ball. Brennan, you have to be happy about quarterback play from Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson looked great. I'm super excited. I mean, he looked like a rookie quarterback at times, but he looked scary good. I mean, I'm very excited. We just need a running back. Deion Jackson, if you have him on your team, cut him. Get rid of him tomorrow. He's awful. 2 fumbles, 13 carries for 14 yards and 2 fumbles. So that was his day.
It's pretty solid. They're hurting for Jonathan Taylor to come back. We'll say that.
Yes, we are.
Michael Pittman saved his day in the second half, more specifically the fourth quarter on when they were trying to come back drive. Finished 8 receptions, 97 yards, and 1 touchdown, full point formats. That is 23.7 points for him. I did notice. I mean, that's a great game for him. Just to say it, if you drafted him, you took the shot on him and Anthony Richardson. You're feeling pretty happy after week 1. Obviously, overreaction is going to happen. I did notice though, Josh Downs, beginning of the game, was getting targeted. What seemed like pretty heavily, but then it kind of just disappeared. He ended up finishing 3 for 7 for 30 yards. So,
yeah,
that's kind of that.
Yeah, Ray, you got anything?
Not really. I mean, other than I think Anthony Richardson's going to have a great fantasy finish this season. He looked a lot better than I thought he was going to look. He's going to make a lot of mistakes, but that means that he's going to have to play himself back into a game, which means that he's probably going to have a good rushing floor. He's going to have, these big plays that, let's say Michael Pittman on a screen, right? Took it all the way to the house. So I think he's going to have a safe floor as at least a back end QB1.
No, I agree with that. I think where you drafted him is you're excited because there's the upside of being a QB. Finishing as QB1 is legit. For those that are curious, he did get injured, but he said he's fine. It's a sore knee, and he said I should fix it. So we'll see when he comes to practice this week.
Yeah, we will see. All right, so up next we have the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta won 24-10. Miles Sanders was okay. Would have been better if he didn't lose a fumble. Outside of that, though, Hayden Hurst is really it.
Yeah, I mean, you were hoping for Adam Thielen to do something. He didn't do anything. You were hoping for, Mingo to do something. He didn't do a whole lot. I mean, yeah, it's Bryce Young. It's his first game. He looked like a rookie quarterback, threw a touchdown, had 2 interceptions. Atlanta's defense is really good, though. So if you do have on the Atlanta waiver wire for the defense, I would look into it because they actually looked pretty good this week.
They did. Scored 13 points in those settings. Desmond Ritter's a trash can. So therefore that put Drake London at 1 target for no receptions and Kyle Pitts at 2 for 3 for 44. Disappointed in both of those, mainly because of Desmond Ridder. But that's not what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the running backs.
Yeah.
Specifically Bijan and Tyler Algier.
Before you do that, I would like to say that if you're going to have a sell category, if you could try and move from Drake London and Kyle Pitts, I would. That's how bad Desmond Ridder looked. He looked god awful. And if you can get something for them, I would.
If anyone watched that game today, though, they're not going to take anything for him.
If you can get anything,
you're gonna have to be paying them to take them off of your roster.
Yeah, because it did not look good. Desmond Ridder looked god awful.
Yes, it was bad.
15 for 18, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown. He had a QBR of 29. Okay, let's read off the running back stats. So,
and they got rid of Mariota. Why? It's the exact same stat line.
Yeah, but he didn't turn the ball over. So I mean, you can argue that, I guess. But Tyler Algier, 15 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bijan, 10 carries, 56 yards, and he had that immaculate reception for a touchdown. Where, I mean, I know Desmond Ridder threw the ball, but that was all Bijan.
Yeah, I mean, he literally caught the ball and had to hit the brakes and somehow slid backwards when he did it. Looked great. I really hope Arthur Smith doesn't keep doing this, like how they're doing with these carries. Just let Bijan have the work.
I think eventually it will be just Bijan's job, but they were saying that Bijan's going to be eased into it, just like Gibbs was supposed to be. So probably about week 4, week 5, it's going to be Bijan's job. But until then, Tyler Algier is probably a flex.
Probably. I mean, I'd still roll him out of running back 2 where you drafted him. Technically, you have to roll him out at running back 1. But, I mean, 20 points from a flex. You're okay, yeah. He's still your RB1. Let's be real. Up next, man, we have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Tennessee Titans. This was a close game. New Orleans wins 15-16. Or, yeah, 16-15, excuse me. I said that backwards. Carr was okay. Tannehill was trash. Derrick Henry was okay. He somehow got 2 for 3 receptions for 56 receiving yards. That Olave and Hopkins. Yep. Hopkins still has it, apparently, Ray.
He still
I
has
know
it.
that's not what you want to hear.
7 for 56 yards.
7 receptions, 65 yards. I mean, that to me would be having it.
Still has it.
I mean, I'm
You say 5 yards a clip. That's almost
65 yards.
It's like 10 yards a reception almost.
Yeah.
I'm so
It's like
not interested in
2 yards. Well, that's fine. You can be uninterested in him, but he is the target leader on that team, so I would take that. Chris Olave would have been a lot better if he would have got into the end zone, but he did not. But still did good. 8 receptions, 112 yards. He's probably that dude. Derek Carr looked a little shaky in the first half.
Had a lot of missed throws.
Yes. Rashid Shaheed. Sorry. Took me a minute to say that one. 2 carries, 11 yards, 5 receptions, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. He fumbled once, but he made a day of it, I guess. And then,
hey, Ray, Michael Thomas had 5 receptions for 61 yards.
I think 3 of them came in one drive.
Might have.
They think they did. In fact, they did.
So, if you drafted,
I just want to talk about Ryan Tannehill. His stats. So he went 16 for 34, 198 yards, and 3 receptions.
yes,
Played way worse than that stat line shows. I just wanted to say that right now. I was watching that game. I had 5 games going on. That was one of them. I was just curious. And there is a good chance that man is replaced soon because their defense is really good and they actually can win games. It's just Tannehill sucks that bad.
yes, and that rolls me to my next point that if you drafted Chikakonkwo as your tight end this year, drop him and you are now streaming tight ends. Welcome to the club. I mean, I'm just saying. Up next, we have a game that I personally thought was going to be a lot closer than it actually was. And this is the 49ers traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. San Francisco mollywopped them 30-7.
Yeah, San Fran's still really good.
The defense is really good.
Their defense is stupid good.
And maybe Kenny Pickett isn't that good.
I'm not going to judge anybody, especially the Pittsburgh team going up against San Francisco's defense. Between them, what we've seen from the Cowboys, which we'll cover in a little bit, and the Eagles, those are probably the top 3 defenses in the league.
Yeah.
I would say that just because we got to watch that game a lot, actually. I was playing in the stadium today, and he had a lot of missed throws, a lot of bad decisions. I don't know. Maybe it's because San Francisco has that good of a defense. Maybe their pass rush is that real, but
maybe. But tough. I mean, I'm saving one specific player from this game to talk about very last. So stick around to figure out who we're going to be talking about. But I agree with you, Ray, on the Kenny Pickett thing. Najee didn't look good. Jalen Warren didn't look good. Allen Robinson came out to be the leading receiver with 5 for 8 for 64 yards.
One of them came from 1 reception, though, for 31 yards, though. It was like a bomb, so.
I mean, hey, guess what? That's fair. Yeah. It still counts on the stat line.
That's true. Deontay Johnson did pull his hamstring, though, so.
Pay attention to that one.
Yep.
Yeah, he finished 3 of 6 for 48. George Pickens, 5 receptions, 36 yards. And Calvin Austin, 6 receptions, 37 yards. 100% catch percentage for him, though.
Hey.
Freiermuth saved his day with a touchdown, 1 reception, 3 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
So
what does that put him at for tight end wise? I'm just curious to see.
Let me see. Tight end wise for Freiermuth, who had 1 catch for 4 yards. Tight end 17. And let me tell you, that is 1 point away from being tight end 10. So there's 7 tight ends in the 1 point range there.
I'm telling you, tight ends are so useless for the majority of them.
Oh my god, that's so
To break
bad.
into the top 5, he would have needed. Well, let me just, where was he? He was 17. Let me do quick math. That's 2 full points. He would have needed 2.5 points to break into the top 5.
Oh,
2.6 points to break into the top 5.
oh my god, it's so bad.
It's awful.
Doesn't take a lot.
It does not take a lot in the tight end landscape of things. So
San Fran side of the ball.
San Francisco side of the ball, Purdy he only threw 2 touchdowns, 19 for 29, 222 touchdowns, 3 carries for 20 yards, and lost the fumble. So, I mean, that's 2 points. In 6-point passing formats, he finished with 20.8 fantasy points. If you take away that fumble, he finished at 22 points, almost 23. You're not mad at that, but no one's playing Brock Purdy unless it's in 2 quarterback leagues. And even then, he's probably your quarterback 3. So, Pittsburgh didn't look good. Their defense looked, with it being 30-7, Pittsburgh's defense still looked good. At
There's
times,
on the field
secondary is a little shaky.
Yeah, there's on the field a lot. Nothing you can do when you're just bleeding them out.
Yep.
And there's a couple bad calls that got called for San Francisco. I mean, there was a strip sack that TJ Watt had that I don't know how that wasn't a strip fumble.
The one where Purdy got it behind his back or whatever. Yeah.
Because he didn't have control of that. But like there was a couple bad calls. But like in general, the Steelers got their asses smacked. But there is one name. There is one name that I
Nope,
really want.
not yet. We're gonna get to him in a minute. Christian McCaffrey things, 22 carries, 152 yards, 1 touchdown. And it was an over 40-yard touchdown, and then 3 receptions for 17 yards. Yep.
Yeah.
Then Elijah Mitchell, he's obviously not going to really do anything so far to spell Christian McCaffrey. George Kittle finished with 4.9 points, 3 receptions, 19 yards, but he did have that questionable tag coming into the game. I'm trying to run through these really quick. Deebo Samuel, 2 carries, 8 yards, 5 receptions for 55 yards. He was okay. Not the wide receiver that you wanted for San Francisco. The wide receiver that you wanted for San Francisco is the wide receiver we've been hyping all offseason. We are the conductors of that train, as you would say. As Ray likes to say. Ray, are we a pro Brandon Ayuk show?
Yes, we're a pro Brandon Ayuk show. And today was why we are a pro Brandon Ayuk show.
Listen, week 1 comes out the gates, 8 targets, 8 receptions, 129 yards, and both of Brock Purdy's passing touchdowns. 32.9 points in this full point scoring format.
We were on this trip, right? And great friend of the show, Eric, he was sitting next to me and he was like, I'm gonna bench Brandon Ayuk, and I wanted to throw up in my mouth.
Did he bench him? Please tell me he benched him.
He benched him.
What a dummy. He obviously doesn't listen to the show. He might be our stats guy, but he still doesn't listen.
Who did he bench him for?
I'm not sure who Eric benched Brandon Ayuk for. Would he have that information on hand?
He is our stats guy. He's behind the scenes.
He's literally behind the scenes right now. He put in Dameon Pierce instead of Brandon Ayuk.
Ooh, that's gross. You lost the week.
Always gonna hurt.
That hurts. All right, so that does hurt. And I'm really glad us being a pro Brandon Ayuk show, he came out and just killed. But I was hoping, because I didn't get to draft him anywhere, I was hoping that he would suck this week. I could draft or trade low, and then he just blow up next week. That was going to be the plan, but now it's not. So
I will say, though, for this game, it was rumored that like Elijah Mitchell would have like a 50-50 split, and that wasn't the case at all, because if you look at the carries, 22 versus 5 for Elijah Mitchell compared to Christian McCaffrey. So I think you're still happy with CMC moving forward, obviously, but that rumor came out and it kind of scared you, but hold strong. You're perfectly fine.
Yeah, CMC had 27 total actual completions. He had 25 total opportunities to Elijah Moore's 5. I mean, total attempts to get to him was 27 to Elijah Moore's 6. That's not good. Anyways, up next, what we thought would be a free square in DFS for the defensive side of the ball, it turned out not to be. Everyone thought this was going to be a blowout. Turned out to be more of a game than we thought. It's the Washington Commanders and the Arizona Cardinals. Washington wins 20-16. Dobbs was a trash can, but that's what you expect with him only being there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if they start him next week, they're for sure tanking. But like, Dobbs threw the ball 2 yards in front of him every time. It was nothing crazy. I know he's only been there for 2 weeks, but like, start Clayton Tune. See what you got out of him. Just try it.
What difference does it make
Yeah, seriously.
at this point?
I agree. Connor was okay.
He didn't kill you.
He didn't kill you. Marquise Brown. I mean, you went in. If you did play him, you went in knowing that you didn't expect a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach Ertz at 8.10. He finishes the top 15 tight end this week.
And he dropped a touchdown.
I know he did. You know, the better play in DFS would have been the Arizona Cardinals defense.
Yeah, pick six or it the sack or whatever it was for the touchdown. Yep.
But yeah, and then Sam Howell did okay. You could definitely tell he looked uncomfortable out there at times.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson, definitely the clear number one in that backfield. Yeah. Antonio Gibson killed whoever drafted him, thinking he's going to be the number one.
He had a fumble, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And then the wide receivers. Someone who hadn't been getting hyped at all this year. No talk. Curtis Samuel somehow leads the wide receivers with 5 receptions for 54 yards.
Yeah, Jahan Dotson, I mean, he had 5 for 40. Terry had 2 for 31. I mean, I don't know, you were hoping for like this explosion from Sam Howell, and Sam Howell showed that that's what he is. He's just a very okay quarterback, and he's just going to be an okay quarterback.
I think that's what the receiving room is going to look like for the remainder of the season, is 50 to 75 yards max on the receiving leader, which one of the three it is, and then the rest of them must have 40 yards, 35 yards, maybe a touchdown. But like, it's not. I don't think that there are a whole lot of viable pieces coming out of the Commanders right now. I think we've been saying that since March, really.
So, are you guys selling McLaurin and Dotson right now? Are you looking to ship them out and try to get something back with more production, or no?
It depends on how your roster's set up for me, but I would like to move on from Jahan Dotson if I drafted him. I'd still think that Terry, because he's coming off of that injury, maybe he was, hampered a little bit more from it. I think he's a hold, but Jahan Dotson might be a move.
Okay. I'm waiting to see if he can string together a couple decent weeks, and then I'll try to move from him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get a little.
Are we cutting Antonio Gibson?
Wait one more week, because this game was weird.
Okay.
Brian Robinson looked good.
He did, but
he looked good.
They were also supposed to blow Arizona out too, and no one played very well. So
yeah,
I would wait 1 week, and it's overreaction, right? It's the first Monday of the season. Everyone's going to overreact. So the teams still don't really have all their stuff squared away either. So take everything with a grain of salt. Up next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Foxborough. They take down the Patriots 25-20. For where you drafted Jalen Hurts, he killed you. For where you drafted Mac Jones, it was great.
If you drafted Mac Jones, kudos to you for doing that. Like, that's impressive if you did, because no one thought that. But we can start with the Eagles side of the ball. Kenneth Gainwell led this team in carries. So, he out of the carries for the running backs, there were 16 possible. He had 14 of them. So I don't know what you're going to do with DeAndre Swift, and I don't know what you're going to. Obviously, I think Rashad Penny's a cut for sure.
Rashad Penny was a healthy scratch.
Yeah. So, but I don't know what you guys are going to do with Swift. I don't know what you guys are
right now.
Hold him.
Okay. Hold him, because you're not going to get anything from him. You can't cut him. You can't. He's got too much name value to cut, but not enough to make a trade because of what happened today with Kenneth Gainwell. I would hold him just for a couple weeks, see what you got. If you got nothing for the next couple weeks, then you probably have to cut him.
Okay.
Painful. It makes no sense. They made a move to go get him. They clearly didn't buy into Kenneth Gainwell to begin with. Why would they go and get DeAndre Swift if they didn't need him? Like, why? It makes no sense.
It's a 5th round pick. It's basically nothing.
Yeah, they're taking a depth shot at a position that has shown to need depth throughout the season. So,
but the receiving side of the ball, AJ Brown, he didn't kill you. 7 receptions, 79 yards. Devonta Smith had the touchdown, 7 receptions for 47 yards. And then who really killed you was Dallas Goedert with 0 receptions and 0 yards with 1 target. So,
Yep. If you play kickers and defenses, Jake Elliott was a stud.
Yeah, he was.
And the Philadelphia Eagles defense scored 15 points in most scoring formats. Patriots side of the ball, Mac Jones, 35 for 54, 316, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 carries for 15 yards. It's a pretty good day for Mac Jones. Ramondre Stevenson, 12 carries, 25 yards. The receiving work is where he really brought his value, 6 receptions for 64 yards. Zeke had a fumble early, figured Belichick would be done with them, but wasn't. He came back in, 7 carries, 29 yards. Also, 5 receptions for 14 yards. Not quite as explosive, but I think everyone can kind of know that Zeke is on the downhill turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think the Eagles' defensive line is that good or the Patriots' O-line is that bad? Because, I mean, obviously Zeke had 7 for 29 carry, and then Ramondre went 12 for 25, and both those guys are pretty decent.
More the Patriots O-line is that bad, but the Eagles defense is good. So it's like watching the Dallas Cowboys defense play against the New York Giants offensive line, right? Like they're just kind of bad already as to begin with, but then you get put up against a great front and they just exploit you and make you look even worse than you really are. Yeah. So I think number one waiver wire pickup of the week if he's not drafted is Kendrick Bourne.
I would say it's another name out there, and the next game we'll probably do, but I think he's up there. Agree. Yeah, I think he's up there. Kendrick Bourne, I mean, led the team in targets, 11 targets, so that's no joke. When you have double-digit targets, you're obviously being open. So,
yep, he's definitely on the waiver wire. Hunter Henry, if you're trying to stream tight ends, he'd be on the waiver wire too. I don't really want to talk about the other wide receivers. 4 for 7 for 40. Juju 4 for 7 for 33. Like that's. They are what we thought they were. Kendrick Bourne was like the only bright spot. Hunter Henry 5 for 56 and a touchdown. Moving on to the next game. Let's talk. We'll jump around a little bit. Let's talk about the Rams Seahawks because I think I know what game Brendan wants to go to and I want to save it. So the Rams defeat the Seahawks 30-13. Ray, kick us off with the backfield for LA.
Cam Akers looked god awful. Look, what did he have? 22 carries for 29 yards or something like that?
Yep, and a touchdown. The only reason he got positive fantasy points was because he got a touchdown.
Yeah, it was, and the touchdown he got, he kind of got bullied out of it. Really, like if he had to go like 2 centimeters more, he didn't get that touchdown. So Cam Akers isn't. I don't really want to have any part of him right now.
Scary.
Yeah, it's weird.
Kyrie, how do you say his last name?
Kyren Williams.
Kyren Williams, he looked better. But I think without Cooper Kupp there, it's just not going to be a thing right now. It really isn't. Like
I don't think that they have the front 5 to support the zone runs like Sean McVay wants to, and I think that's their biggest problem.
Yeah.
And defenses can kind of key up on it because they have nothing to worry about over top. Well, I guess they do because
they do now.
They have receivers now, but like that's probably what was going on.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
They have, and this is where I think Brendan is going to go. Puka Nacua. This will be my wide receiver waiver wire must add here.
Yeah,
15 targets.
Yeah, crazy. 10 receptions, 119 yards. The dude was a stud. He was just open all day.
Yep.
So, Van Jefferson, I know a lot of people started him in the pinch, but didn't do a whole lot. 4 receptions, 24 yards. Tyler Higbee, who's kind of like a streamer, pretty much everyone was thinking, he'd get you something. 3 receptions, 49 yards, nothing crazy. Tutu Atwell, I mean, I don't know what to think of him either. 6 receptions, 119 yards as well. I think Puka is the ad over Tutu for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Matthew Stafford, 24 for 38, 334 yards and no touchdowns. They just ran it in every time. But let's talk about the Seahawks.
That'll do it. What do you want to know about the Seahawks, man? Gino didn't look very good.
What went wrong with this game? Like Gino didn't look good. I mean, Kenneth Walker looked okay. 12 carries, 64 yards. DK saved you with that touchdown, but I mean, JSN didn't look hot. Tyler Lockett got injured. I mean,
I think that's part of it. Is Tyler Lockett got injured and JSN I don't necessarily think should be playing this week. So
yeah, he definitely just had a surgery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I don't think he should be playing this week. So yeah, I think it's just once again one of those off games from them. Bad game script, getting behind early. Can't stop the run on the goal line.
I would not be selling anybody on the Seahawks right now. Nope.
I would.
Maybe Zach Charbonnet. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah.
Like Kenneth
3
Walker,
carries?
I mean, yeah, 3 carries, 11 yards. I mean, they were just down a lot. So like they're down, so really can't run if you're down, making everything else like that. But
wasn't Zach supposed to be the passing back?
He was supposed to be. So
one of his 3 carries I watched him get, he literally ran right into the back of his offensive lineman at the line of scrimmage and just fell over. So not a good look. Anyways, up next, another close game. We have the Raiders against the Broncos. Raiders win 17-16. The Jimmy Garoppolo didn't kill you. It's actually a better play than what most people would think.
yeah.
Tay hurt.
Josh Jacobs hurt.
Yeah. Tay hurt a
Tay
lot.
went 6 for 66. It's 12 points into full point.
Yeah, he didn't kill you, but where you drafted him at, I bet Tay hurt.
Are you hurt, Ray?
Yes.
That's I can hear.
I'm more hurt because of Tyreek Hill, but like that as well.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers led the team in targets with 9 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's insane. He got a concussion, so I don't think
he got cold clock. He's not playing next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be impressed if he plays next week. Josh Jacobs looked rusty. He looked like he missed all of preseason. So shocker when that happens. But Jimmy G won him this game. Jimmy G just wins. So.
I don't know how. Yeah, that's pretty much it for there. Zamir White is not a thing. Josh Jacobs is the main thing there. Just let him get back into game shape. Russell Wilson already put up better stats and numbers than he did the entirety of last season.
Yeah.
So 27, 34, 177, 2 touchdowns, 1 carry for a yard. Still looked bad at times, but at least he's off to a good 2-0 touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah. I mean, Javonte, he didn't really do a whole lot for you. 13 carries, 52 yards, 4 receptions for 5 yards. So, nothing crazy. Samaje Perine had 8 carries for 41 yards. I mean, the receiving, everyone was kind of thinking Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton. I mean, Cortland Sutton might have saved you with that touchdown. But other than that, I mean, Samaje Perine led this team in yards and receptions. So
I'm so tired of Cortland Sutton. I will say big flex by me earlier. I pivoted from Jerry Jeudy when they said that he might be questionable to play the game and put in Mike Evans. So it definitely worked out for me.
There you go.
Ray, I'm going to let you be the deciding factor. Do you want to cover the Packers game last or next?
We'll cover them next.
Cover them next, and we'll save Miami Chargers for last game?
Yep. Let's do that.
Perfect.
All
right, Ray. Ray was in attendance at this game. Ray got to yell his little head off, and I'm surprised you still have a voice, actually, because I looked at my wife about 45 seconds in the game, and I said, Ray's probably already lost his voice.
It was close. So while attending this Packers-Bears game behind enemy lines, we got to see a change in ownership from one Aaron Charles Rodgers to a Jordan. Is his middle name Michael? Michael Love? Jordan Michael Love. It can't be Michael. There's no way. That has to be made up. So,
the
takeaways that I have from this game: 1, Romeo Dobbs is a
Alexander. Jordan Alexander
Love. That's his
name.
Jal. He's Jal. Romeo Dobbs is a absolute steal at the end of your draft. If you grabbed him, great. Aaron Jones needs to be on the field as many times as humanly possible, but unfortunately he got hurt. He was walking around on the sidelines fine. I know that the injury report said he was questionable, didn't come back in the game, but he was walking around on the sidelines fine, but then needed help getting off the bench. So it was really weird. I don't know.
I'd be hurt too running that much.
What's that?
I'd be hurt too if I ran that much all over the Bears defense.
One of the Bears fans behind us said that the only way the Bears can stop Aaron Jones is if A.J. Dillon's on the field. That's exactly what he wasn't lying. Not lying at all.
Let's back this up a little bit in case y'all don't know or didn't watch. Packers won 38-20 in Jordan Love's first official debut as a starter. Bears fans had hope thinking that there would be a change and they might actually be able to compete now, and that's why Ray said change of ownership. Jordan Love, 15 for 27, 245 and 3 touchdowns, 3 carries, 12 yards. Aaron Jones didn't do none of the Packers did a lot in the rushing game. 9 carries, 41 yards, 1 touchdown. It was close to the goal line, but 2 receptions for 86 yards and another touchdown. And that's where he ended up coming up lame and either doing something to his hamstring or whatever it was on that one. To Ray's point, Romeo Doubs, 4 for 26 and 2 touchdowns. Touchdowns aren't a sticky stat. So I'm interested to see what happens next week before I make a knee-jerk reaction on Romeo Doubs.
So I will say that for the context of that, Romeo Doubs was not on the field very much. He wasn't. He was.
I don't have snap percentages in front of me.
Yeah, he wasn't on the field very much. It was Samari Toure, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks.
He was also limited up until basically yesterday with an ankle.
Yeah, so like that's why I think his reception total was low. I think that's why his usage total wasn't very high. But it's pretty clear that like when he was on the field, Jordan Love was looking at him almost every time that he could.
I mean, he leads. He's tied with the targets for 5. Him and Jaden Reed both had 5, and Romeo had 4 of his 5 catches. So,
yep. Luke Musgrave's tight end to monitor. Looked good. Targeted 4 times, 3 receptions, 50 yards. I mean, not terrible.
Boy, he could have had a huge game had he just run the right route.
Yeah,
I tell you,
tripped over his own feet.
Yep. All right. Then for the Bears side of the ball, if you started Justin Fields, you ended up not being upset at the end of the day. I mean, it was still 17.5 points, but that would be a game where you were expecting more like Jordan Love, where you're looking at 25 plus points is what you're thinking you're going to get from him. Considering he came with a projection of 22. Ooh, boy, Roschon Johnson might be the thing in Chicago.
Yeah, no, he for sure should be the thing in Chicago.
He was the much better running back. Absolutely much better running back.
Feels bad for Khalil, but it's weird too because I felt like I saw Deontay Foreman on the field more than I did Khalil Herbert, but Khalil Herbert actually had more carries.
It's because Roschon had more catches. He had 6 catches compared to Khalil's 3.
That makes sense.
That's where the stats came in. And so the Chicago side, I mean, Cole Kmet didn't kill you. 5 receptions, 44 yards. Darnell Mooney had that 1 catch. What really killed you is DJ Moore. He was dud. He had those.
Moore killed me. Cole Kmet finished his tight end 6 on the week, by the way.
Oh, nice. DJ Moore had the 2 receptions for 2 for 25. So where you drafted him, he killed you.
And it's crazy.
Targeted until maybe the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, and he went like back-to-back receptions, and the crowd was like super into it and hyped up. And then, hey, let's not do that anymore because it worked.
I mean, Jair was traveling with him the majority of the game, and as soon as
that's the Jair effect. So
as soon as Jair came off of him, that's when DJ Moore got a couple catches, and then Jair went right back to traveling with him.
Okay, so yeah, I mean Darnell Mooney. I don't know anywhere I drafted him other than a dynasty league, so he wasn't getting played. So Green Bay wins again. We're already off to a better start as Packers fans than what basically every talking head on TV thought we were going to do today. So congratulations, Ray. I'm glad you got to see it in person.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm glad you're super excited for that.
So the second to last afternoon game.
Let's talk about it.
Miami, the Chargers. Miami wins 36-34.
Where do you want to start, Aaron?
Let's just go back and forth. Let's do that.
Oh, okay.
Let's just compare positions.
Let's compare it.
We're going to start with Justin Herbert because he was the home field quarterback.
All right.
So he went 22 of 33, 288, one touchdown, 5 carries, 18 yards, and another rushing touchdown. 6-point passing formats. He scored 22.9 points. That's pretty solid, but not quite as solid as this next guy we're going to talk about. As Ray would put it, the dumpster fire that is Tua Tagovailoa, which I do not agree. I don't think Brennan agrees. Nope. 28 for 45, 466, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 carries for 5 yards, and 1 fumble. He would have had more points had he not just turned the ball over. It's pretty crazy to throw for 466 yards.
It is pretty crazy.
That's
wild.
How do you feel about that, Ray?
Yeah, Ray.
You guys are planting your flag on the guy that I'm telling you is going to burn you.
We're just recapping the game.
Stats.
Well, all the passes that he may have completed should have thrown so many more interceptions, and so many balls got past J.C. Jackson that should not have gotten past any other cornerback in the NFL. I'm telling you right now, Tua is a schmuck. Period. I'll say it till the day I die. A schmuck.
Okay.
Imagine having one of the best receivers in the NFL, and just that's the only thing you can do is throw to him because the defense can't figure out how to stop it.
I mean, sounds like a good quarterback.
Sounds like a great winning strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't say that about Aaron Rodgers when he threw it to Devontae all the time.
I'll make you a bet. Where do you think Tua is going to finish? I'll make you a bet. I know it's going to be
if he plays
quarterback 10, if he plays all
10,
season.
yeah, QB 10. If he plays all
quarterback 10.
Okay, I'll make.
I mean, you're already behind the 8 ball on this bet, bro. He is the quarterback one as of now on the week. Yeah. We still have 2 awesome quarterbacks playing tomorrow, but so worst he can finish as quarterback 3.
He doesn't finish quarterback 10 at the end of the season.
I'll take that bet.
There's your bet.
I will take that bet any day of the week you want.
Don't be shy, Aaron. You jump in there too.
There's your bet. No, I'm saving my bet for a better one.
I'll say that bet about these bets.
I'm not sure.
I'll
do a beer bet. I'll do a beer
quarterback 10.
I'll do a beer
Got
bet
it.
with you.
Get it.
Let's talk about the Dolphins side of the ball. So Raheem Mostert was the guy. Yeah, he was the guy we all expected. If you pivoted to him, you're happy. He had 10 carries, 37 yards, and a touchdown. His reception, he had only 2 receptions for 13 yards. They had a couple other guys that kind of worked in, like Salvin Ahmed and then Eric Azukanama.
Not worried about it. If they didn't score more than 10
so
fantasy points, I don't
Raheem's
care.
the guy going forward. Tyreek, if you played Tyreek, I'm sorry, you lost. I don't know if you did play
Tyreek.
Yeah, if you played against Tyreek, you probably lost.
Yep.
I'm playing against Tyreek, and I still have a chance.
Do you really?
That works.
Because I have Garrett Wilson tomorrow.
Okay.
That works.
How much are you down?
7.5.
Oh yeah,
we got chance.
Fine. But
I was projected to lose our dynasty league, our Superflex dynasty, by 20-something points, and then this game ended, and now I'm projected to win by a point. So
that feels good.
Feels decent.
Yeah. So Tyreek had a crazy day: 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fantasy wise, that's like what 45
and a half.
So it's 46 in my league. 46 points.
Jalen Waddle didn't kill you. He had 4 receptions for 78 yards, but I mean, obviously Tyreek was the guy today, so that's who they focused on. After that, it's just a bunch of nobodies. It is what it is. We can go to the Chargers side of the ball. Austin Eckler actually saved you today. He had that long 55-yard run, but he had a 16 carries, 117 yards for a touchdown. Joshua Kelly, someone I'd monitor. He might be the change of pace back there because he was featured a lot. He had 16 carries for 91 yards and also a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be very curious to watch that for the waiver wire pickup. Receiving wise, Keenan Allen led the team. Shocker. 6 receptions, 76 yards. Austin Eckler had 4 receptions, 47 yards. Mike Dubs got injured, which sucks because obviously had he played that game, I think he would have finished with a better stat line, but he
did come back to play the game. He missed like 2 quarters.
Yeah. So 4 for 45. It's not terrible, but I mean, for him being injured and coming back, you're pretty happy. So
yeah. Keenan Allen also almost scored too. I want to point that out. He got down on like the 2-inch line. Yeah. It is crazy. So that would have been an even better day. Quentin Johnson, if you drafted him, you're holding him. That's where I'm going with that. Josh Palmer's never going to be a thing. Don't care what anybody says. And I would look at dropping Gerald Everett and picking up Darnell Parham. I would just flip flop those two if that's.
It's tight end wasteland. You can take your gamble and hope what you get. That's the way I put it. So if you do that, I am not going to say you're wrong in any way, shape, or form. I just want that to be known.
I would rather just not have tight ends ever. But,
I agree.
Or not any Chargers tight end right now. Because
I agree. So now we have one last game, which was the monstrosity of the Sunday night football game.
Jesus, it literally just ended.
This game was Dallas against the Giants, and Dallas won 40-0.
Who was the leading scorer for any fantasy, Aaron? Because it wasn't a person.
Dallas Cowboys defense scored 40 points.
I really hope. I don't think I played the Cowboys defense.
2 interceptions, no points allowed, 7 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 2 touchdowns, and a blocked field goal. For a touchdown, by the way.
This is why I don't have defenses in leagues that I'm a commissioner for. I
agree.
I'd just be so livid.
So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to name the fantasy options that you probably wanted out of this game because there's really no point in even talking about it. Saquon miraculously didn't kill you. I mean, where you drafted him, maybe, but he scored you 9.3 points in just a complete blowout. Tony Pollard finished 14 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions for 12 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 77. And who's this? Kavontae Turpin here.
Yeah.
He 3 carries, 14 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 receptions for 11 yards. He got used more of a running back than a receiver, but he's listed as a receiver. Mm-hmm. So monitor that. And Brandon Cooks, 2 for 22, didn't necessarily kill you, but once again, it's a 40-point blowout. So it was over by halftime.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Cowboys defense just smothered the Giants. I mean, it was kind of crazy. The game actually looked pretty good. The Giants were driving down. And then their center botched the snap and then blocked the field goal. And then it just went to hell. It just went to hell.
But I would like to point out they did the old first half Mike McCarthy offensive. They got that ball back from the Giants when they fumbled the snap. And then they drove the field, got to the 2-yard line and couldn't score. Darren Waller's honorable mention too, 3 receptions for 36 yards. Ray, anybody else you want to mention in this game?
Not really, no. Just get defenses out of your league.
Yeah, 40 points for a defense.
40 points.
Pretty stupid.
40 points. That's crazy.
That is.
Where's Darren Waller in the tight end for rankings? I'm just curious because he had 3 for 36. So
18. He's 1 spot behind Pat Freiermuth. Yep, that's probably it for me, guys. I have nothing else to talk about that game because it was complete and utter nastiness.
Yeah, the fact that we recorded at halftime because it was over. It was like 30-0 at halftime. What, 26, something like that? Yeah, it was over.
Yeah. It was over. But yeah, I think personally, I'd be scared to play Dak this year with just seeing how that's going to happen. And they play Washington twice. They play the Giants again.
Eagles.
Play some more crappy teams throughout there.
Oh, in regards
to the Cowboys schedule.
Yeah.
But they play Arizona. They play New England. They play the Rams. They play Carolina.
Hey, that's why they're my pick to be in the Super Bowl. Not to win it, but to be in the Super Bowl at least. So
yeah. So there's quite a few games this year where you're probably pretty hesitant to actually play Dak. Anyways, anything?
No, but guys, let us know in the comments. So Monday night, obviously, it's the Jets versus Bills. Let us know who your Monday miracles are. Let us know if you're down, what you need or what you don't need to score. We're very curious. Like in my league, I think I need Garrett Wilson to put up 25 points to win another league. So I will be a big Garrett Wilson fan.
I think all 3 of us will. We all 3 have him playing in rosters tomorrow that we need him to score to win. So when it comes down to us, we have too many leagues, so we pick our favorites and the rest just get pushed to the wayside. So, as always, guys, please leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, we're also now, since it's the start of the season, back on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you want to listen to us on your morning drives, go check us out over there. But till next time, we'll see you